Yeah, I'm outside in an AMG, right outside, TT, two-turn baby girl, you know me.
Yo, what's good? It's Josh again with the Black and the Black podcast, where it's always real, where we don't conceal, and where the truth is revealed. And on today's episode, we have our last Women's History Month honoree. She is the executive pastor at the Bethel Church, a personal development coach, a wife, a mother, and most importantly, a child of God. Ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Kimberly McKissick.
Woohoo! Listen, man, I need to put you on the I need to put you on the tab so I can introduce me.
I
Where
got you. So because I last time I told Jocelyn when I came home for summer break that I wanted to work with the media ministry. So we got to work that out.
yes, please, let's go. We're ready. We need
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
We
But
need
we gonna jump straight into it so I don't take up too much of your time. So one of my first questions is, what made you want to start in ministry?
you. What made me want to start? I didn't. Ministry. I am, or I consider myself the stagehand. I can move some furniture around. I can open up some curtains. I can tell somebody when they need to go on stage, but I did not want to be seen. And so I did not choose to be in ministry, but God chose me. I have an assignment.
Wow.
And so he chose me to be a builder of women, which is what I consider myself. He chose me to be a shepherd of his people, and he chose me to do ministry. And so he had to hone me, he had to encourage me, he had to really instill some skills in me in order for me to serve him.
Wow, that's wonderful. So now my next question is, what has been the biggest challenge as a woman in ministry? You
Ah,
know, because I want to point out so many times today, um, I hear it a lot, especially among young people. I don't want to listen to a woman as a preacher or a pastor. And so, what has been the biggest challenge, or what do you consider to be the biggest growth point in your ministry?
I just think some of the man-made systems that we have now in church or in any ministry what has inhibited some women from coming forward. It has not really been my personal struggle, but I do know of persons and friends of mine who have struggled to be in the mainstream, if you will. Of course, the women were the first preachers, they were the first
Yes,
ones to tell
yes,
that
ma'am.
Jesus had risen. And so, from that, and there are just so many more examples in the Bible of women pastors, prophets, preachers, teachers, and leaders. And so these man-made systems we're trying to tear down is what keeps us from doing the work of the Lord. But of course, nothing can separate us. So we will forge ahead. But it really hasn't been hard. It hasn't been that challenging. I think after I finally got out of my own way, I was able to do what the Lord called me to do.
Yes, wonderful. So now I also want to know, since we're talking about male male preachers and woman preachers, how has it been serving the ministry alongside your lifelong partner?
Oh, listen at you, Joshua. You asked the $25,000 question, and I'm here to tell you it's really been joy to glean, to learn, to get wisdom, to be inspired by your covering, by your spouse, by your husband, by your lifelong partner. And he's not only my husband, he is my pastor. And so I've just been so privileged to learn so much. I've grown so much under his leadership. And I think when you yield yourself to being led by a godly person and not look at them only as my spouse and that you
Yeah.
can, I think you're all the more better. And so I've grown tremendously under his leadership. It's been such an amazing journey to yield to his leadership, to his guidance. And when he asked me to step into this role, of course, I did tell him I had to pray about it as I pray about everything. And so I just didn't take it for granted just because he was my husband asking me. I wanted to make sure I was serving in the capacity that the Lord wanted me to, and that he equipped me to handle whatever role this was that Bishop wanted me to serve. And so it's been an honor. It's been a ride. It's been an honor, but I've learned a lot.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I hope one day to reach the level that you guys are at, because it's on display every Sunday. I'm in Atlanta, but I still watch right after I go to my Atlanta church. I still watch every Sunday, so it's like I see it on display 24/7. And
Oh,
I tell people all the time, because I tell my roommate, I said, "Listen, your pastor not like my pastor. Your pastor's not like my pastor." So that's wonderful, man. But I also do want to know, like, what is it like pastoring a historic church like the Bethel Church?
well, let me tell you something. Being that I am from Virginia, I've
Mhm.
learned so much, not just about Bethel, but about the city, the rich history here in Jacksonville, and the role and the value that the African American community held here. There's so much that I've learned, and so much I'm still learning. Um,
Yeah.
Time I turn around, not just for Black History Month, but every time I'm in a certain space or around certain people, I am learning so much history. I am being poured into and inspired by those who were here before I was, that have done amazing things. And so being here in this historic place has such significant value. It means a lot to be able to continue the work. It means a lot that those who came before me laid this kind of foundation that people not only in Jacksonville are talking about, but they're talking about it across the country. Here we
Yes.
have James Weldon Johnson and then J. Rosamund Johnson right out of our church, who coined the lyrics and to the poem and the words to the poem and then the music to that poem to give us our Negro national anthem. And
Yes.
so many notables that were a part of the Bethel Church that served in the political arena, that served in the community and in the civic capacity. So it's an honor. It is so humbling being at this place that every time, I feel like Moses, I need to take off my feet because I'm walking on holy ground. And so
Yeah.
take off my sandals because I'm walking on holy ground. So it says a lot to be at such a historic place, to pastor, to shepherd, to lead such a people, especially now in these times post pandemic. But we're in an endemic. We're in the zone one. Bethel is in zone one. We're in a food desert. So building ministries and resources surrounded that so our community can have and being a part of that. So it's humbling, but it's also fulfilling.
Yeah. So I want to know as well, since we're on this topic, in your time at Bethel and with Pastor Junior, tell me what has been one of your favorite messages, if you can think off the top of the dome. Like, what has been one of your favorite messages?
That's so funny that you said that. There have been a few. For me, personal testimony, November 2015, he did a series called Managing the Interrupted Life.
Mm-hmm.
It started on a Sunday, but he continued it when we were having then every Wednesday Bible study, of course, on site prior to the pandemic. And this shifted me, and this really spoke to me as far as solidifying my place in ministry. You don't have to be the star to be in the show. And then this a particular topic is not just about you. And so I was eating carpet, as they say. At night, I was eating because we don't realize we do make it about us when we say what we're not going to do, what we don't want to do. We don't want to be out front, but God has called us to be out front. God has called us to be that example and be that person that if one person sees you, that helps them and encourages them in their gift to use their
Yeah.
talent treasure. So that was very pivotal for me. November 2015, I'll never forget it. I'm greatly indebted to him. I don't know if he realizes how much that meant to me, but
Yeah.
that pivotal point in my life that shifted my ministry. I was actually on the praise team. I was praise team leader. So that was preparing me for being out front in this ministry journey. So that was significant for me.
Wow. Wow. So now that we're talking about how it was pivotal in your pastoral journey, right? Tell
Mhm.
me, what has been the best part about being a pastor?
Just seeing people fulfilled. I
Mm.
think in this executive pastor role, and I'm not co-pastor, so I'm putting it out here on this platform, Joshua, because some people, I am not the co-pastor, but I'm in partnership with him. And so being the executive pastor, once again, using that role and that title to bring resources to our ministry, to partner and collaborate with different agencies and organizations around the city and in the world to assist with our programs and our ministries, to assist with Scholathon, what we have, of course, that platform Scholathon that brings so many awards to our scholarship arm of our ministry. And so having that role and being able to be in control of helping other people and getting them to where they need to be in ministry and in life. And so it's really been a blessing to be in this role.
Wow. So now what has been one of the, I don't know, because we talked about you having a rigorous part and it wasn't that challenging. So I don't think you had, too many. So I wouldn't ask you that. But I also got another question. If you could tell a young woman who would be going down the same path as you right now, what would you tell them and why?
There's an old saying, Joshua, that says, bloom where you're planted. In this day of competition, social media, Lord help, with everybody.
It's ridiculous.
Listen, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
God has given you your race to run. I am not competing with anybody. I'm not trying to be the next Coretta. I'm not trying to be Jonetta Cole. I'm not trying to be the next Kamala. I'm trying to be the best Kimberly that God has designed me to be. But I have those Kamalas, I have those Corettas, I have those Jonettas to look up to and to glean from and to pull things from that will help me and that I need. And so I'm trying to be the best me that I can be and that God designed me to be so I can be used, because he can only use me as me. He can't use me trying to be somebody else.
Right.
And that's my best advice. That would be my greatest advice to young women. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Look straight ahead. Look at God, and he's leading you to where he needs you to be. But if you're going to look to your left and your right, just as we always say, take the meat and spit out the bones. Take what you can from them, but run your race.
Yes, ma'am. Run your race. Okay, so now we're going to switch the tone a little bit. I want to listen. No, it's not crazy. I promise. But I want to talk about Black culture.
Okay.
Because I personally believe that Black culture is continually rising. And at Morehouse, I talk about it almost every episode. At Morehouse Week, it's just a great place to be, and I'm learning a lot. But what does Black culture mean to you?
What does Black culture mean to me? It means Southern cooking. It means our own language. It means our own expression.
Yeah.
Black culture, we have an expression. Nobody can express like we can express. And so we express with our hands. We express with phrases. We express with isms. Mama told me, don't do this. You got to come home when the porch light comes on. You can't stay out. You have to. I'm not going out by myself. I'm rolling with 10 people deep. I'm not. So we're a language. We are soul food. We are ministry. We have a whole different language that no one else has. And so this culture of ours is so unique. It's different, and it has a vibe to me. And so when we vibe together in unity, when we're not, it's something to behold. Everybody is invited to the cookout, where we don't have raisins and a potato salad, but everybody is,
listen.
That kind of thing. And so we have our own vibe. It's amazing to be around. We have our own language and we have our own expression.
Yeah. Okay. So talking about Black culture, HBCUs, it's no secret that you graduated from an HBCU. Now, where you went, I may not agree with. I'm playing. I'm playing. Listen, I'm playing, but it's no secret that you graduated from the illustrious Virginia Union University, to be exact. So what does being a graduate of such HBCU means to you in that sense?
Several things come to mind, Joshua. My father was a graduate of that same HBCU, Virginia Union University. He was the dean of the seminary. We had a seminary, which still stands today, the School of Theology, so I'm a two-time graduate of Virginia.
Uh-huh.
I went back to school and got my Master of Divinity degree from Virginia Union, the only place that could steward my journey at that level. And so Virginia Union, once again, it's a whole nother place. I grew up there, and that's my home. So I grew up at Virginia, and I grew up on the yard. I grew up on the campus because I went there with my father. So those granite buildings, that whole campus, it was ingrained in me. I love just the smell of the atmosphere. I love seeing the students at that time. They dressed up, they wore suits, they were in their finest. And so just the culture of the yard, being at an HBCU, seeing people who looked like me, seeing people who understood my struggle, seeing people that I can engage with and fellowship with that were going through some of the same things that I was going through, but we could celebrate together because we reached some of the same plateaus together. And so we understood and we knew each other. And so just being in that atmosphere twice was a blessing. And then I stayed on campus. My father was a believer. Wherever you go, you need to stay on campus. Now, my house was literally 7 minutes down the street.
Wow.
But my father wanted me to have the campus experience, the HBCU experience, the college life. So I stayed on campus. Wow. And so the best decision that we made for me to do that, because I got to experience dorm life. I got to have various roommates that I connect with till this day. I got to experience that campus life, being on the yard, being in the caf, eating cafeteria food, hanging out, and what they call Hendo, which was our collective place on the yard. And so it was just an amazing experience. And I'm glad. I wouldn't change it for anything. I'm glad I went.
Wow. That's amazing. I can't lie. I love the HBCU life. It's just sometimes that calf food just it don't do the job.
And it's funny. I rarely went home, but I just loved being there. So I suffered it to be so, Josh. I suffered
Listen, I miss my mama cooking, like miss grandma cooking. It's true. Like I'm not gonna lie, Pastor Kim. We be having stuff on the main entree section. I just don't go. I just get me a burger and fry every day because that's the safest thing to eat. So I'm like, I can't do it. But what do you believe to be the most important thing about going to an HBCU besides all of, the stuff you just talked about? What's the main important thing?
It's learning that our culture, out of the things that I said, is more than the food. It's more than the barbecues. It's more than about those warm, fuzzy moments. But it's about learning that we as a people have really struggled to get somewhere in life, to get ahead in life. And we as a people stuck together down through time to make sure that we were valued, that we are valued, and that we have a place in history. Now all of the conversations surrounding canceling culture, diversity, DEI, and everything, we must make sure that our voices are heard and that we keep our history above ground, and that no one else is going to do it but us. And so just learning about our issues and doing that together and learning about our history, what our ancestors went through at every turn. It wasn't just a demographical thing. Our ancestors everywhere struggled. And so Virginia Union has a rich history because it started with a man who was a slave owner. And the Baptist Home Mission Society, which started a lot of schools back in the day. One woman, Mary Lumpkin, brought the slaves together so they could get an education. And when he died, he left everything to her. They called it the devil's half acre. So that's what Virginia Union started on. So give you a little bit of history of what that was. And so that rich history, then they made a school out of that. She started under a tree, made a school out of that. And so I feel our history has so many layers, but it's amazing to see us still standing today off of what they did. So it's just, once again, more than the food. It's more than the colloquialisms and a few sayings. It's a movement.
It's a movement.
It's a movement. You know, there's nobody like our people. I'm telling you. Of course, our skin has been kissed by nature's sun, but it's more than that. It's a movement of what we're doing and what we can accomplish, and the intelligence, the brilliance of our people is unmatched.
Wow. So now closing out on HBCUs. What is your hope for HBCUs in the future to continue doing?
That we stand on the same levels as the other universities and colleges. We have the same things to offer, that we are the best and the brightest. We are philosophers. We are philanthropists. We are entrepreneurs. We are professors. We are scientists. We are archaeologists. We are all of that. We're teachers. We are preachers. We are mothers. We're fathers. We're daughters. And so to know that we have so many facets that you see around the world that's not just relegated to one people, but we're all of that. And so our HBCUs, they say we churn out some of the best that we have now and see today. All of the movie producers, all of the writers, all of the actors, presidents, vice presidents, of course, Vice President Kamala Harris, the Mecca, Howard University. And so we have so many people in those high positions that went to HBCUs, our historically Black colleges. They are not undervalued. They are the best of the best, and they offer an amazing matriculation and academic journey that you can get anywhere.
Wow. Yeah. I like to put it like this. I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams. When people, our ancestors, they fought for us to have the education and to have the capabilities that we have now today. And I love to appreciate and look back on where we come from and where we're going constantly. Because when you reflect on certain stuff like that, it constantly reiterates in your mind, like, I got to do this. I gotta do it because they fought for me, so I have to do this for them. Not for me, not for my parents, not for all my other family, but for the ancestors that paved the way, who came before me, so that way they could leave a legacy for me to prosper. So
let me add this too. Not only that, you are so correct, but they did more with than what we have right now. We have so many resources at our fingertips that we have not even touched the surface. We haven't scratched the surface, as they say, of all the resources that we have. But they did more with less, and look what they accomplished. And I'm just so grateful for those who sacrificed. They sweated. They were bloodied. They were beaten. They were bruised. They were spat on. They were water hosed so we could have better. And so we owe it to them. It's our birthright to do the and then some, to make sure that their dying was not in vain.
Exactly. Now, Pastor Kim, listen, as a journalist, I do, as a future journalist, I do my research, right? And so I saw that you live by the quote, act successful and you will be successful. How would you say you can act successful? Because so many times we try to say, like, we use these words, but how would you say you can act successful?
I'm going to use you as an example by saying what you said, but you corrected yourself, but I'm going to correct you in the correction. You are a journalist, not a future journalist. You are a journalist. Look at your podcast and what you are accomplishing. This is what leadership looks like. This is what success looks like. It's not how many likes you have. It's not how many tweets, retweets people would tweet, but it's the consistency of your obedience, and you're being obedient to what God has called you to do. And that's to go to the masses. Use your platform to bring about change. Use your platform to spark conversations. And so when you're acting successful, you're acting like you already have it. Once again, we limit ourselves and we measure success on the likes, once again, on the clicks and all. But my success is rooted in being obedient to my call and making God pleased with where he has me and what he has given me.
Yes. Perfect answer. Now, as a pillar in the community, what do you believe to be your most significant accomplishment thus far in your life?
Ooh,
it's one of my favorite questions.
That's interesting. What's my significant? I think that I feel that I've made a difference. That I have helped in my coaching, my business, and my mentoring. Just helping. I don't care if I help one person. That I have helped someone to rethink their decision on something, or to think differently about where they are, and to give people hope. As I always say, I'm a hope giver. And so I want to believe that I have made a difference in at least one life. Um, and so as I pass along, that I make sure that I'm not leaving someone by the side of the road. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you have on. I don't care what you look like.
Yeah.
But but my answer is yes, Lord, yes. I gave God my yes, and so this is what I'm here to do. And so my prayer is that I've made a difference, Joshua, even in coming to the pageant luncheons and the talks that I have with my ladies and women of purpose, or the one-on-ones, or seeing someone in the congregation that I connect with. It's so funny. We've shifted to the floor, but when I was sitting out on the pulpit, I would wave to people.
Yeah.
If I saw somebody's face not really looking like I feel they need to look, or they had a spirit of heaviness, I would just wave. You know me, I don't care. We're here to do ministry. We're here to give hope. We're here to bring about a change in people's lives. So that's what I would say. I would just pray that I would have made a difference in someone's life.
Yes. So, Pastor Kim, being a mother,
Oh,
wife, pastor, and coach, you got a lot going on. And first, I want to thank you for just stopping by. I appreciate it. Me and my team truly appreciate it. But how do you manage it all?
I don't try to do it all at one time.
Mm,
I know what to shoulder. I know where I'm supposed to be. I know what my purpose is. And so I'm not trying to be at a breakfast at 10 o'clock, at a luncheon at 1 o'clock, and then at a dinner at 6. So I say yes to what I need to say yes to, where the Lord wants me to be. And then the rest of it. And it's funny because I'm home most of the time, Joshua. People think, oh, I'm home. You're my fourth Zoom today. So I've been home. I did
wow.
want to see my mother-in-law. I go and visit her, but I've been home today. And so in my when people say I'm busy, I'm not busy. I am very strategic about my assignments, and not to put so much on me. So I do get plenty of rest.
Yes.
But I do enjoy myself, and you don't want to be so busy that you are not enjoying what you're doing and you're running yourself in the ground. So just be mindful and be strategic about how you are doing ministry, your podcast, and shouldering everything that God has given you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd say it like this. You know how when Thanksgiving or the holidays come around, when we get in there and we start putting food on our plate, we got the turkey, we got
Uh-huh.
peas, we got the collard greens, we got the stuffing, if you will, we got the rice or the corn, and we got
Mhm.
your cranberry sauce. But oh, in walks in Aunt Sally with the cornbread. And what
My
do we do?
God.
We don't care how much is on our plate.
Put it right on top.
We're going to put it right on top. And so, just like that holiday feast, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever it is, make sure what's on your plate you're going to eat and you're managing it.
Great. So now we're coming to a close. My final two questions. But before I get to my really favorite part of our episodes,
Uh-oh.
I want to know, what does Women's History Month mean to you?
Ooh, I think celebrating those who dared to do what people say they couldn't.
Mm,
We as women don't get enough credit. We are getting the credit, but we have so many firsts. We have so many starters. We have so many innovators. We have so many creators, so many starters. God created in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In 7 days, He created. We have so many creators that are women. And so this Women's History Month, we're celebrating those who did what others said they couldn't do. And so I thank, I won the list of people. I thank Sarah Blakely for inventing Spanx. I thank I, I thank Mae Jemison for being the first Black woman to go to the moon. I thank Vice President Masara Kamala Harris for even being on the ticket. She could have said no.
Yes.
Said no, but she felt, hey, this is our time, not of mine. She told Joe, this is our time, and she wanted to help shift, and she did. I don't care what they say about her. Everybody
Yeah.
is. She did shift the culture. She shifted the narrative. I'm thankful for a Ketanji Brown who is now seated as a United a Supreme Court justice. I'm thankful for those of the first to do it. I was looking at when we have our scholathon, I was looking at it, and I know we have to go, but I was looking at, and I wanted to make sure I get her name right, at social media, Shania Muhammad. She is the youngest African American teacher now at 6
Yes.
in Oklahoma. The first.
The first.
So we are creators, we are innovators, we are originators because we keep being the first. And so I want us to continue that. I'm not looking for a seat at the table. I'm just looking to do what the Lord has called me to do. And he will send me to the table. I don't have to find a seat. He will send me to the table if I continue to do what he called me to do.
Yes, ma'am. So on now that we're closing on Blacker Than Black, we do this thing where when we close out the episode, we leave one piece of inspiring advice for the week coming. So tell me, what's yours for this week?
Black on black.
Blacker than black, blacker than black.
Black. Oh my goodness, Black than Black. Now you got me with this one, Joshua. I don't think I've been speechless this entire interview.
This is my favorite part.
Black and in Black. Joshua, I just want to say, first of all, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for bringing me into this space. You're doing phenomenal work, and don't stop. God has so much more in store for you. This is just the beginning. And so you just don't know what you're doing for others coming behind you already. Someone in elementary school, someone in middle school who's looking up to you right now, a young Black man doing it for the culture, a young Black man standing on his laurels, a young Black man standing on the integrity of his word and bringing the nations with this podcast. I'm so proud of you. I'm so blessed to know you. And
Yes,
I'm
blessed to know you.
been actually inspired and impacted by you today by seeing you do this work. You are Roland Martin in the making. I'm telling you.
Listen.
If I can use that name, my brother Roland Martin, who is doing it big, has done tremendous work in the community. So you are following in that path. We need more Black young men journalists. We need more of you in this space. And so I just want to thank you for considering me out of everyone you could have had on here today, that you thought of little old me. So I want to thank you. But Blacker Than Black, no one else can do it better than we can do it. Blacker Than Black. We are what people see us. We are powerful. We are insightful. We are a force to be reckoned with. And so don't let anyone ever tell you because of the color of your skin that you can't accomplish anything, because the color of your skin is why you are here in the first place. And the color of your skin is going to take you where you need to go. I'm Blacker Than Black all day. Look, beige done age. They say black don't crack, but black don't crack, but beige don't age. And so that's what I'm with.
Oh man. But now I'm gonna leave mine. I always do one as well. And so this episode is going to be released on Resurrection Sunday. I was like, this was fitting. And so I just want to say, Jesus sacrificed his life so we could be cost free of sin. And so in your coming week, to the people that are listening, do one sacrifice. Make one sacrifice that you can make in your life. If Jesus could do it, you could do something this small. You could do something this small. So as we go into this next week, like I stated, make one sacrifice. Encourage somebody, lift somebody up. And as we say on Blacker Than Black, all we trying to do is inspire, grow, and change. But with that being said, Pastor Kim, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it so much.
I love you.
I love you. Thank you to the audience. Even if you've been rocking with us, I just stopped by today. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Amen.
But it has been a pleasure to be with you guys again. And this has been Josh with the Blacker Than Black podcast, where it's always real, where we don't conceal. And today, the truth was revealed. I'll see y'all next time. And I love y'all. Peace.